You're listening to the Industry Alchemist podcast. The definition of alchemy is a seemingly magical process of transformation or creation. This podcast exists to hear the stories of entrepreneurs, business owners, and leaders doing just that in their industry. We hear about the journey of the brave souls carving a new path, moving their industry and our lives forward in a seemingly magical way. This episode is brought to you by OfficeChief.com. Office Chief exists to make moving your office easy and painless. Moving an office can be a big hassle. On top of running your company, you're thrown into having to figure out what to do. Hire space planners, furniture companies, movers, IT consultants, the list goes on. It only takes 2 minutes to create a profile, and Office Chief gives you a step-by-step action plan and connects you with the top vendors in your market. Moving your office? Log on to OfficeChief.com and make it easy. I'm your host, Matt Brower, co-founder and managing broker of Column Commercial Partners, helping companies save money on their real estate. I'm also founder and CEO of OfficeChief.com, an online resource for businesses moving their office or updating their space.
Hey guys, welcome to the Industry Alchemist podcast. I'm your host, Matt Brower. This episode's guest is a leader in the e-learning industry. After getting a finance degree from CU Boulder, he was a sales director at 2 different tech companies until he founded the CE Shop in 2005. The CE Shop is a fast-growing e-learning company focused in the real estate industry, serving a national audience of real estate professionals through the delivery of real estate licensing and online continuing education courses. This is particularly interesting to me, being in the commercial real estate industry myself. It's also a pertinent topic in today's remote world, as all education has been forced online, at least for the time being anyway. I'm excited to jump in and learn more about this topic from the true expert, so thank you so much for being here, Michael McAllister.
Thanks, Matt. My pleasure.
Yeah. So I wanted to jump in by asking you, of all industries that require continuing education, how did you end up in focused in the real estate sector? Talk about kind of the background and how you led you into that.
Sure. Yeah, it's actually a fun kind of. I think it's foundational to entrepreneurship, actually, and success as an entrepreneur. Anyway, so I grew up in a single-parent household. My mom raised 3 of us as a single parent. So, as at the age of 5, that's how old I was when my dad left, and my mom dove in and began a career in real estate. So as soon as it was safe enough for us to literally walk the neighborhood and put door hangers out and move signs around, it was really a family business. So I understood from the ground up what the industry was all about and really enjoyed it. And then...
So you and your siblings were kind of her workforce.
It's called free labor.
Helpers. Yeah, exactly. Well, child labor, too, it sounds like. No.
Hey, wherever it's legal, right?
Yeah.
And then after my freshman year at school in Boulder, my mom literally grabbed me by the scruff of the neck and said, go to real estate school. And I didn't understand why at the time, but I followed her direction and did so. And I was definitely the youngest person in the classroom. And later found out I was the youngest licensed broker in the state of Colorado at the time, at the age of 18. So I learned
What year
a ton.
was that?
So... Are you going to make me call out?
I had to call you out on
Let's see.
No.
That would have
You don't
been...
have to answer that question.
Let's just say early 90s.
Okay.
Early 90s. Yeah. But it was a great experience. I mean, I remember sitting in the class looking at all these, gray-haired people in front of me thinking, I'm so glad I know this now. I mean, I hadn't purchased my first piece of property at that point, but
right.
I was so grateful because all these other people were saying, oh my gosh, I wish I'd known that. I wish I'd known this, before I bought or sold these pieces of property. So when it came time to start a business of my own, it really was important to me that I combine passion for something that I'm interested in with something that I know about. Mm-hmm. So the CE Shop was really the opportunity to blend together a love of education, a love of real estate, and a love of technology. And it's really just been an amazing ride.
Wow. So you, in the early days, it sounds like, did you get into the rental business as well? Did you, were you involved in buying and selling homes and brokering deals and everything as well?
I did.
Cool.
I did. I was, I've always let my mom run the transaction because she was in it every day.
Yeah.
I think there's a danger in when you don't do things on a regular basis to dip into it, especially in something like the purchase or sale of real estate. Let the experts do it, right? And I had a broker's license, but I was, certainly not an expert in it. Yeah, I bought my first house. Those in Denver will know, just north of Cherry Creek Mall in the 7th Avenue Historic District. I bought the ugliest house in the best neighborhood, and really, fix and flipped it myself. I mean, I did all the work myself, and it was this little 60s ranch style house that I paid $139,000 for.
In that neighborhood?
Yeah.
Jeez, probably 2.5 million now.
It's pretty ridiculous. Pretty ridiculous. Yeah, so we did that, and then it was really just the classic kind of leverage story. Built equity, refinanced that property, bought some other rental properties, and the cash that came out of those properties really was the seed capital for the CE shop.
Nice. So one of the main reasons why I do this podcast is I like interviewing entrepreneurs that have pushed their way into an industry and pushed a new technology into an industry to kind of move our lives forward. I know real estate as being an industry that is pretty slow for the most part, especially commercial real estate. Residential is a little better, but slow to adopt new technologies. Thinking back in 2005 and those early days, what kind of challenges, obstacles did you come across, had to overcome, trying to get this industry to adopt this new thing, new way of licensing and continue education of their people versus going to a classroom and sit there for days at a time?
Sure. Yeah. Great question. Taking me back. It's been 15 years now. It's funny, when you start a new business, a lot of what you learn and the heartaches in the beginning sort of become fuzzy memories. But as we talk about it, it was similar to pushing a rope uphill in terms of an antiquated industry. Real estate education was and is to some degree still dominated by a baby boomer population who were either in real estate and decided that they'd prefer to teach it, and large brick and mortar schools. So, when we came out and said, hey, there's a better way to do this, we've got a mobile workforce. We've got people that are transitioning from other careers that really don't have the ability to go sit in the classroom. It was really a lot of education, which is kind of ironic. We've got a sales team now, upwards of 24 people out on the street across the country, and I still emphasize to them the importance of educating the customer base about the value proposition. Because I don't know what for sure it is about the real estate industry, but there is sometimes a tendency to be slow to change. And part of that might be that it's so steeped in regulatory guidelines. There's so many rules and regulations and contracts, and it's an intensive business.
Yeah.
But that was the biggest thing, was just educating our industry about the advantages of learning online, which really wasn't challenging to the practitioner. The National Association of Realtors has always said that the average member is a 52-year-old female. Was then and is now.
Really? Oh my gosh.
That's the average demographic profile. Well, if you go back to 2005, a 52-year-old female really wasn't very tech savvy. Mm-hmm. They just weren't. Well, obviously the technological skills of that whole audience has really grown. It's had to grow. I mean, those in real estate today won't survive unless they embrace technology. So that's been a tailwind that's really helped us. The other thing that happened that was interesting in 2008, which we all know what happened in our industry nationally at that point, was that our marketing efforts, which were primarily direct marketing to publicly available lists of licensees, began to diminish. Our return on those investments diminished because the licensing lists could be anywhere from 1 year to 4 years old, depending on the state, because that was the last time the licensee renewed their license, and they had their contact information. So here we are sending all these pieces of direct mail to licensees that said, I'm out. I can't survive the downturn. It was a part-time thing, whatever it was.
So you're spending those marketing dollars for a lot of times nothing.
We just saw our return on that investment continue to diminish. So I came up with an alternative strategy to go to market, and that was through an affiliate channel. So I thought, well, who are the people that actually know who the people are that need continuing education? In other words, these lists of licensees that are years old aren't working for us.
Right.
So who does? Well, those people like yourself. It was brokers, it was realtor associations, and to some degree, some real estate schools. So we really developed a relationship with all those industry stakeholders and said, hey, we can be your education partner. You don't need to invest in all the curriculum and all the online tools and all the, the technology that we have. We'll just put a symbiotic relationship in place where you can direct your agents and brokers to us for for their education. Way more efficient, keeps them out in front of clients and prospects rather than sitting in the classroom.
Right.
And the associations loved it because it was a source of non-dues revenue for them. They're always looking for ways to bolster their value proposition to the licensee. So
That's
that
a
was
great
that,
idea,
but
yeah.
that was certainly a challenge. I mean, I hit the road and drove all over the country and met brokers and realtor associations and developed these relationships. And now, we've got a growing team and thousands of partners across the country.
That's great. So did I hear you correctly? Are you sometimes partnered with a real estate school to be their e-learning arm?
Correct.
Oh, wow. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
that was kind of the third. The primary channel partner were really the associations because during the downturn they were really looking for support and
Yeah.
help. And people don't know this, but there's over 1,000 realtor associations around the country.
Oh, jeez.
So there's the national association, but then there's state and then
Yeah.
there's locals. So there's lots of them, and they don't have large budgets and large staff. So they really appreciated having a relationship with someone that gave them a turnkey solution to offer this to their membership. So they were really our first partners. And then when we got into the pre-licensing business, real estate brokers were great because those that are actively recruiting new agents
Yeah.
loved our product because it kept the customer engaged. They didn't have to send a potential recruit to the classroom where they could get recruited by the brokers.
Right.
This
Yep.
kept them insulated, kept them engaged with the education, and the very best. And we have the best licensing exam pass rates of any technology, any classroom in the industry.
Oh, really? Wow.
So brokers love that because they know if they find somebody sharp that, this as a broker, if you want to recruit somebody and they need to go to school, you want them to have the highest likelihood of passing the exam.
Exactly.
And actually learn something. I always say that our coursework, since it's delivered contextually, it's not just reading law and, really dry stuff. It's all delivered in a contextual format that adults need in order to learn properly. I always say that a new licensee is going to show up maybe on the 10-yard line for you as opposed to back in the end zone on day one. Because
Wow,
there's
that's a great analogy.
There's a few dots connected, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they don't really know much until they get out there and they work with you as a broker
Yeah.
to understand the business, but at least there's some contextual dots connected
Yeah.
from the pre-licensing.
And that's
program.
coming from the way you guys disseminate the information and your curriculum.
Yep, the
Yep.
way we deliver it.
That's
Right.
great.
Right. So that's to your original question. I mean, those were some of the challenges that we had. I mean, as a startup in 2005, we almost didn't realize that the downturn happened because we were just pushing uphill the whole
Yeah.
time. In other words, we didn't have a business that got deteriorated. What happened were some of the larger incumbent players actually fell out. So it was an opportunity for us to take market share at that point. So I don't know. I mean, I've always looked at everything as an opportunity and, to do something and do more and to innovate. So
Yeah. Yeah, how to pivot and
challenges are just opportunities.
yeah. What a great what a great time to. I mean, right now for the last several months, I think everyone has been forced to have to do that. So, and those that are looking at it from that lens are, I think, for the most part, creating some pretty cool things. And I know it's a tough thing to do, but
Opportunity comes in the time of challenge.
it does.
And
Yeah.
there's many, many, many really innovative businesses that are being incubated and started right now.
Yep.
Because necessity is the mother of invention, right?
Yeah, exactly. When the pain is great enough. Yeah. So, the great segue actually. What has, I think I know the answer to this question, but what has occurred in your business since all this happened? I know we just talked about you have seen an uptick, but what is there anything driving, anything in particular, any areas driving the growth that you guys are achieving right now?
Yeah, we feel really fortunate. It's with mixed feelings that I say that our business has grown
Right.
Significantly since the pandemic started. In the midst of thousands of people losing their lives and people losing their businesses. I mean, as an entrepreneur, my heart just aches for people who have put their heart and soul into creating a business and their financial resources into creating a business that's totally out of their control, crumbling right now. So that just is really painful for me. But then I'm reminded that we're creating economic opportunity for other people during this time.
Yeah.
So during good times, people get into the real estate industry because it's viewed as an easy, right?
Yeah.
During challenging times and corporate layoffs, people also are sparked with this entrepreneurial spirit. I truly believe that a career in real estate is one of the true last entrepreneurial opportunities in our country that has very few barriers to entry. With some work ethic, a people personality, and a modest amount of capital, you can really be successful.
Yeah.
So our growth in our business has been significant during the pandemic. We're seeing classroom education across the country shut down for the most part. So those tailwinds that we were experiencing and move from classroom to online education throughout all educational systems has really sped up, both in continuing education, but then really in pre-licensing education. You know, a typical pre-licensing course, depending on the state, can be anywhere from 40 hours to upwards of 180 here in Colorado.
Yeah, it's significant.
So, you know, people don't want to go sit in a classroom with 50 strangers for 3 weeks right now. Like, that's just not appealing.
And nobody wants to take on the risk of having that many people in a room together either.
Right. Right. Yeah, it's fascinating, really. You think about just how abruptly and swiftly major changes happened in people's industries and businesses. It's nothing anybody could have foreseen.
Yeah.
So,
well, I want to also echo something you touched on. This is what I've always thought about Uber and Lyft and some of these platforms that exist, food delivery services, these platforms that exist which basically offer people the opportunity to create a living, and it's a very low barrier to entry. Real estate does the same thing, and I would imagine a lot of people, when they are losing their jobs, this is an industry to consider because, hey, everyone, for the most part has family members or friends that they could potentially help buy or sell a house. You can earn a very decent living doing so. And hey, I just got laid off or I'm being furloughed. What am I going to do to pay bills for the next couple of years? Why not try real estate? It's a very, very smart thing to think about right now.
Mm-hmm. You know, I think that real estate, if you talk to most real estate professionals, they'll tell you that they transitioned to this industry during some major change in their life.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether it was, getting married or getting divorced or, losing a job or the kids going off to college it's often a second or third career for many people. So I think big societal shifts and major transitions just, encourage people to get involved. Media has done a really good job in spreading the industry as well. I mean, if you think about Scripps Networks and HGTV and all the things that they've created, everybody's fascinated with real estate.
That's true.
And it really is viewed as something that's relatively simple. You and I both know it's anything but simple and it's anything but easy.
Yeah.
But the rewards can be really, really terrific.
Right. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of reality shows right now involving real estate. What's that one?
$1 Million Listing.
Yeah, there we go. Sunset Boulevard.
I mean, really? There are thousands and thousands of licensees in New York. Those that get to list $10 million penthouses are few and far between.
Exactly.
So
I'm sure they can't imagine how long it takes and how much networking it takes to build to that level, but good for them.
Right. Right.
So in the midst of all this, drive toward e-learning, as we're being forced to do so, have you guys considered any other curriculum, any industries, diversifying your curriculum in any way? Or
we have. It's actually been a topic that's been out there for a long time for us. We reached a national footprint of continuing education, meaning we did business in all states back in 2013.
Oh, wow.
And that was the point
cool.
at which we launched a pre-licensing product, and now we're in 30-plus states. So we've got a team of almost 30 people. All they do is create and manage curriculum.
Wow.
And we do it really well. We do it really efficiently. We do it effectively for the learner. And so it's really, we view that as a key asset to our business that we want to hang on to when we want to accelerate and move into other places. In fact, our vision is to be the world leader in professional education. So it's
nice.
big, right?
Yeah.
I mean, from real estate education to
huge.
world leader in education. The how, we don't necessarily know yet. What we do know is we've got some core competencies that can be translated into lots of places.
Yeah.
So we've engaged some research resources over the last 12 months and are going to go into a second phase of that in the early 2021 to really look at where can we have the biggest impact with the core competence that we have, everything from the technology platform, the learning methodology, the curriculum development processes, even to the sales and marketing, go-to-market strategies. Mm-hmm. So the CE Shop is really good at what we do. We've won a number of awards, been a best place to work for multiple years. And so there's so much runway and so much trajectory. But what's really created our success to date, Matt, is our focus. We've been solely focused in the real estate industry. Our partners appreciate that. Our team appreciates that. It really allows us to be the very best at what we do.
Yeah, your brand is just solid in the industry.
The brand is solid, and we're really good at what we do, honestly. I mean, I think a lot of entrepreneurs suffer from the shiny object syndrome, of which I did early on too. I kept thinking, God, there's so many things we can go do. This would be cool. This would be great. But I was always brought back to the center line and said, just stay focused and be the very best at what you're doing, because the market opportunity is plenty large.
Right.
So, but we're at a point where we need to and want to expand beyond real estate, and we will. I'm anxious for the pandemic impact to level out a little bit and kind of understand the long-term implications as it relates to education, so that we can really.
And you might be able to see which industry is really ready to adopt this.
Yeah, I mean, when I look at applying our core competencies to the place where we can add the most value, that place where we can add the most value is kind of in flux right now. I mean, things are moving all over the place. I mean, every single day we wake up and the rules of the game are different, right?
Yeah.
So I think it's important for that to settle down a little bit. But rest assured, I mean, we're going to continue to grow in lots of different ways.
Right. Oh, that's great. Yeah, and that's you guys have been doing since 2005 what most companies have been forced into in the last several months. So you have it dialed in. This is what you do. It's almost, I try to always remind myself to see what shows up, trust what shows up. Maybe the universe or whoever, God or whatever your belief system is, will send you what's next. I always try to be in that mindset.
You have to be quiet to listen.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to be quiet to listen, and I also believe that until some things move out of the way,
right,
there isn't space for anything new.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. So it's like if you build it, they will come mentality. You've built it, so see what shows up.
Well,
cool.
build it and they will come, or just be quiet and find out what's
Yeah.
next, right?
Yeah, that's a better way to put it. Yeah.
Which is one of the things that we've seen, and I've heard, repeatedly throughout this pandemic, is people have really appreciated the time to be quiet.
Right.
I mean, it's had a profound impact on us societally in good ways and lots of negative ways. Mm-hmm. But personally, I think, we've really had to ground ourselves and be okay with being alone or being with your family in your house. I mean, I feel fortunate to live in a great city where we can be outside and the weather's nice and all that kind of stuff. But there's parts and corners of our world where people have really had to go inside, literally, inside their heart and their soul, and think about, what's meaningful to them, what's important for them. And I think we're all forced into that corner of our world at some point in our lives.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, the powers that be decided that collectively we needed some help getting to that quiet place to listen for a little while. Yeah,
that's a great viewpoint, or great look at that. So before I do want to jump into some more personal questions about you, but before I do, how do listeners find out more about the CE Shop, whether they're an individual looking to maybe get licensed and explore real estate, or they are an organization that wants to, partner with you in some way?
Sure. No, I appreciate that. The CEshop.com has everything you need.
Cool.
Our website's really geared for the potential or existing practitioner to find the coursework that they need. But there's lots of opportunities to connect with our sales team too. If there's a brokerage firm or a real estate school or association out there that is looking for really the very best licensing education that exists.
Very cool. All right. Yeah, and we'll put links on that when we post and in the description and everything too. So
great. Thank you.
Perfect. So jumping into a little more personal questions so we can kind of get to know you as an individual, as what drives you as an entrepreneur. And you mentioned focus, what keeps you focused. I just want to, these can be rapid fire, depends on kind of where we go with it. But what or who has had a big impact in your life throughout your entrepreneurial journey?
Oh man,
anything comes to mind?
The list is long.
I like to throw these out just on the fly too.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
Whatever comes top of mind first.
The list is long.
Yeah.
I think I'd be remiss if I didn't say that my mom was an inspiration. I mean, I can't imagine being, in your 30s with 3 young kids and no financial resources and diving into a business that requires so much self-drive and independence. So I'm often reflect back on, now I have a team of, 100 plus people that are all paddling in the same direction, but to be a sole independent entrepreneur, I was also really fortunate to have a number of people growing up that were independent business people. And I just always knew that that's where I wanted to go. But I also knew that I had to spend 10 years in the corporate world learning, not always what I wanted, but sometimes what I didn't want.
Yeah.
And then I really always wanted to be in business for myself. Always.
Yeah. I mean, if you were to have jumped right into real estate and only did that, you probably would have a very different view on how business runs than if you did go experience corporate world
Exactly.
for a while. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's great. Are there any books or thought leaders that you've followed, read, found particularly helpful through your journey?
Early on, I read Gino Wickman's stuff on the EOS Entrepreneurial Operating System, which was really helpful to me. Mm-hmm. It provided a little bit of guidance. One book that we talk about, a couple books that we talk about a lot about in our business. One was written by John Case called Open Book Management, which really is about open book management. In other words, some companies keep information, strategy, data, financials kind of under cloak and veil.
Right.
And we've believed since the very beginning that the more information we can share with our team, the better. And the analogy there is that when the team knows what's coming, where we've been, where we are, and what's coming, we can better respond together. So sort of like the team rowing in the boat. If everybody knows exactly where we're going and what resources we have, that's beneficial to everybody. So Open Book Management is an absolute must-read. It's an old book. I mean, there's nothing really super progressive about the delivery of the material, but it's just foundational to how I think businesses operate best. And the other one is Andrew Grove's Only the Paranoid Survive. We talk about that a lot.
Oh, wow. I haven't heard of that.
In terms of there's always someone on your heels. So, you should be attuned to what else is happening out there. In other words, don't get arrogant. Don't assume you've got the market cornered. Don't assume that you're the best at what you do. There's always someone out there that's working hard, well capitalized.
Overtake your market share.
Absolutely. It can come out of nowhere. I mean, the CE Shop was that in 2005. We came out and really hit some incumbent players who had owned the market, primarily in the textbook business, for years. Well, there's a CE Shop out there today run by someone like myself, 15 years younger, with 15 years younger, more energy, more creativity.
Right.
And with the pace at which technology evolves and the amount of capital that's in the market today, you just cannot be complacent.
Yeah, it reminds me of that old saying, if you're not growing, you're dying.
Absolutely.
In business.
Absolutely. Yeah. One of our core values is a commitment to improving, which means that we always have to be looking for the next thing.
Yeah.
And we've been really good about it. We've taken some major leaps forward in our industry, which is challenging to do in such a regulated space. But we've continued to invest in more innovation, because we have to stay ahead.
I'm very familiar with the EOS operating system, having used to be involved in EO, Colorado here. And I know that core values is a very big part of what to dial in to help create that machine. You mentioned one of them. What are your other company core values?
Our core values are who we are. we often say you could drop our team with our core values into any business,
Yeah.
and we would survive. So
That's
they're really in no particular order.
Yeah.
Being we are customer focused. I actually spend an hour with our new hires talking about all our core values and what they mean contextually to the business, because they're not just words on a wall. I mean, they really mean a lot to us. But the customer is absolutely huge. The fact that we respect each other in today's world, I think that's more important than ever. I don't care where you come from, where you go on Sunday, if you go anywhere on Sunday, who you live with, whatever. You have our total respect as an individual and as a professional.
Cool.
I'm not going to give you my whole hour-long core value speech, just so you know.
We could do that on another podcast.
Although I do love it. I could talk about it forever.
I'm the same way. I love core values.
Yeah. So we're committed to improving.
Okay.
That's another key one that is just, so foundational to what we do.
Yeah.
We have fun is another core value, which I think life's just way too short not to have fun. There's this life is so short that if you're not enjoying what you're doing, you should do something else. And I'm very open with the team about that. You should absolutely
go find what you are passionate about.
Go do something that you're passionate about.
Yeah, absolutely.
We actually added a core value in 2014 when we started our charitable foundation, which is we give back. Because it was at that point when we reached that national footprint of licensing education.
Yep.
That we said, how do we give back? We've got to do more than just, build our business and make money, which is when we started that. So that's kind of a sampling of what our culture is all about, which is our core values.
Yeah, that's great. What the foundation? What does it exist for? What do you support? What causes?
Now you've hit my real passion button. So the CE Shop Foundation was started in 2014, as I mentioned.
Yeah.
And I've always believed that to whom much is given, much is expected. And that's just the way I grew up. It's what I believe. So in looking at how we could make a major impact, we decided that we wanted to get involved in youth health and education initiatives. And specifically, we decided to support the school-age backpack program. You familiar with that?
Yeah. Yeah, where they fill up backpacks full of supplies for kids.
This is actually
underprivileged
is actually for food.
Oh, okay.
So there's backpacks, and I put that in air quotes for those listening, is traditionally thought of as school supplies for kids.
Yeah.
Or this is really backpacks of food, or they're plastic grocery bags of food. So there's about 30 million children in the U.S. that are on either a free or subsidized school lunch. And this is all socioeconomic.
Yeah.
And the school districts have done a phenomenal job of feeding those kids breakfast and lunch oftentimes during the week. But what happens on the weekend is they go home and sometimes might have a Coke and a Twinkie or just really poor nutrition over the weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
So when they were showing back up in the classroom on Monday morning, they were totally ill-equipped to learn. They had behavioral issues. It was just a real challenge. So it would really set them back. So they really weren't back on course until maybe Tuesday afternoon or Wednesday. So the school-age backpack program is really kind of a generic term for providing food to kids on free and subsidized school lunches over the weekend. So we said this is a great spot to start. It was actually a program that, due to our family situation, we participated in as kids, so it was near and dear to me. So what we do is the CE Shop Foundation raises funds to support those programs.
That is awesome.
It's been an absolute blast.
So, and this is a topic that I've always thought, God, this is a huge problem right now when kids aren't going to school. They're not being fed at, via the cafeteria for breakfast and lunch. They're at home all day, every day. What's happening now? Hopefully there's programs like that are taking care of these kids.
Yeah, the school districts have really stepped up. We work with schools in Denver, Adams, and Aurora.
Okay.
And they have continued to feed kids.
Have they?
Through
That's
the summer.
great.
So
Okay.
kids can show up at school, have meals, and our program continues to get food out to those schools on Fridays to take home on the weekends. It's so rewarding and so foundational.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, it was like, how can we possibly live in this incredible, wealthy country that we do? And there's young people worried about food. They should be concerned about going to school and getting involved in sports and being good stewards of their community, not worried about where their next meal is going to come from. So it felt so foundational to me that unless we take care of these young people that are someday going to take care of us,
Yep.
not that I'm doing this for selfish reasons, but I suppose in somewhere in there, there's going to be a young person or two out there that are going to have to help us as we get older.
Yeah.
Very, very foundational. And it was something that our audience could engage with. So real estate professionals are traditionally very community-oriented, giving people.
Yeah.
And I wanted something that they could contribute to as well. So actually, when people go to order coursework with us, they can contribute to the foundation at the time of checkout. So it only costs $4 to fill a bag of groceries that'll feed a family of 4 for a whole weekend. So we give them the opportunity to fill, as many backpacks as they want. And our customers love it. They absolutely love it because it's an opportunity for them to give back as well.
Yeah.
It's such a foundational way. And then our employees love it. So the folks that our team members that are on the phone with these prospective agents and existing agents, and they talk about what we believe as a company and our core value of giving back. And then they can engage in this really heartwarming conversation about the fact that, just $4 is going to send a kid home with food.
Yeah, with
it's
a meal.
really, really fun. Really, really fun.
Do you? How do people partner with you or contribute to that cause? Are there ways to?
Absolutely, and
Yeah.
I don't know how soon your the recording of this will get out to your audience, but we actually do an annual fundraiser every year. Traditionally, we've done a bicycle ride.
Okay.
The first year, my partner and I rode from Fargo, North Dakota to Denver. It was
Oh
a
my
blast.
God.
It was an absolute
How many
blast.
miles is that?
It was about 1,100 miles.
Holy.
It was
Jeez.
incredible. It was so much fun. And we've done different iterations of that over the years. But this year, obviously, we're doing something virtual.
Yeah.
So my team cooked up this idea called the Fit for Food Challenge. So it's fitforfoodchallenge.com. And the idea is that you make a commitment to do something healthy during the month of July, some kind of fitness challenge for yourself.
Yeah.
Mine, I've kind of gotten out of running. So I said, I'm going to run at least 2.5 miles twice a week for the month of July. And then I challenge my friends to do that. You can kind of think about the old ice bucket challenge.
Yep.
That
Yep, I
kind of
remember
idea. Then you go to fitforfoodchallenge.com, and there's a place to make a contribution to the foundation. It's a 501c3, so everything's tax deductible.
Cool.
And then there's all kinds of cool swag out there. So there's water bottles and T-shirts and sweatshirts and all kinds of cool stuff with these characters the team created. There's like this dancing avocado, and there's this apple that's doing this cool thing. They've made all these GIFs that are animated online. So that's our big thing for July this year.
So when's
2020.
so that's going through the whole month of July.
Going on now.
Yep. And so by the end of July, is there any, what's the result of?
So our goal is to raise $50,000.
Okay.
The CE shop is matching up to the first 15,000
Yeah.
that's raised. I'm not sure where we are today, but we're making really good progress towards that
great.
goal. We've always hit our fundraising goals. Always hit our fundraising goals, and that's just because our cause is so foundational and everybody can relate to it. But this we loved because it wasn't tied to people that were just into cycling or were just here in Denver. Literally everybody within our community nationally can get involved in a really simple way.
That's incredible.
And
yeah.
given that we've all been kind of tied up inside during these summer months, let's get out and do something healthy for ourselves and
the
feed
sun's out.
Yeah.
Now's the time.
Yeah. Feed some kids along the way.
So I think that this episode should actually be being posted in about a week or two. So we can definitely do our part to
Great.
contribute to that. So
Cool.
what's the say the name of the if somebody were to search for it on social media platforms?
Yep, it's the Fit for Food Challenge. So hashtag Fit for Food.
Got it.
Fit for Food Challenge, CE Shop Foundation, all those things will get you there. But
Okay,
the Fit
cool.
for Food Challenge.com
There'll be links
is definitely the way
to
to go.
contribute, to get involved.
It's super cool.
Awesome.
It's so fun, and it's really kind of our annual opportunity to reach into the community and just see how incredibly generous people are.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Well, this was a fantastic conversation. Great to learn more about how you guys have implemented the e-learning solution and really pushed that into the real estate world. It's kind of the way I think most professionals do it at this point. So I think you guys were probably know, but probably one of the first to really start doing that in this industry. At
We
least
were
in
certainly the
Colorado.
ones to be the most focused, for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
So, and I'm glad that we just learned about the Fit for Food challenge because I'm going to participate in that, and I'm sure a lot of these
Excellent.
listeners will as well. So,
Cool. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much for your time again, and let us know if there's any other ways we can be helpful on that with your foundation, and appreciate your time.
You bet. My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Michael.